We rocking and rolling. Okay, big homie. What do they know you as in the state of Georgia?
State of Georgia. G, Big
Mm-hmm.
Brother G Money, G Money,
Mm-hmm.
anything with a G.
Where you from in the city, man?
Man, I came up on the west side. I got here as a teenager, from Louisiana, New Orleans.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so you from? I did not know you was from Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you left Louisiana?
18.
18. What do you remember about it? Was you on the porch, off the porch? What was life like?
I got in trouble one time,
Mm-hmm.
and when I got out of that trouble, I was ATL bound.
You had already family here, or they decided we moving to Atlanta, or how did that
Yeah,
work?
my mom was out here. I think she had got out here from Oklahoma probably about 2 or 3 months before I did.
Gotcha.
So at that time, I was living with my grandmama, but once I had got out of trouble, then I came to Atlanta.
So you was living in Louisiana with your grandma
Mm-hmm.
on your mama's side or your daddy's side?
Moms.
How did you get to grandma's house?
What you mean? How did I
I
get there?
mean, was that's who you was raised with, or?
It was off and on because I know me and my mama was having problems. I was a teenage bad boy, you
Yeah.
know. So the only one who could really deal with me was my grandmama. So it was back and forth between Oklahoma and New Orleans.
So you've
And
been moving state to state for a while.
yeah,
So did you have a relationship with dad, or?
yeah. He actually, my mom moved me away early, 5 years old. Um, I think I started getting back in touch with my dad when I was like 12. Looked his name up because I always knew what his name was. I look his name up in the phone book, call him, collect, we'll chop it up. But I was only doing that when my mother wasn't home. So at the age of 15, I decided I wanted to run away. At this time, we was living in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
My dad sent me a bus ticket, and I ended up meeting him at 15. So I spent a little time with him, 15, 16, and he passed away when I was 17.
Were you able to go to the funeral
No, because I was incarcerated. I was in trouble in Louisiana.
in Louisiana? What was your dad's name?
Nathaniel Noble, Sr.
Nathaniel Noble Sr., man.
Yeah,
Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace.
yeah.
Uh, do you have a relationship with that side of the family?
Absolutely. I'm closer to that side of the family than my mom's side. Like my mom's side of the family, like everybody just kind of doing their own thing. But my dad's side of the family, I talk to somebody every day off that side because I got a lot of siblings as well on that side.
Okay. Um, I don't even want to pause. I'm trying to get this dude to Uber. I'm stay away from him. So you're in Louisiana. What trouble did you get in Louisiana
Armed robbery
at a young age?
at a young age.
I'm saying,
17. I was 17 at the time.
Was you running with cousins or how? I mean,
Nah, it was just kind of something random. Like I was just young and just bad, and it was just something that I didn't learn it from anywhere. I wasn't hanging with nobody. I ain't never been a follower.
mhm.
It's just something that I kind of did. You know, grandmama had a gun laying around the house, and I just went out and did something stupid.
Okay.
But I ended up getting found not guilty, and once I got out of trouble there, that's when I came to Atlanta.
Okay. So you got locked up for armed robbery, and did you have a lawyer or a public defender?
Public defender.
Public defender. How long did you stay locked up?
1 year.
Oh, so no school? You was in school when you did this?
Yeah, I think I was in the 10th grade or something like that. I think I was in the 10th grade, and it was one day I just did something stupid, got caught in the car, got locked up, and was gone until a year later, went to trial, got out the same day. I got found not guilty.
Mm. Uh, what influenced you? Was this a time where was music or was it just poverty, a combination of both, or?
I'm not, at that time I probably was listening to NWA. I'm not saying NWA was the reason,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, it might have been a little bit of poverty, getting teased in school because I didn't have the same shoe, when we was coming up. Like it's not like it is now. Like you can get in trouble for teasing somebody about
Mm-hmm.
small stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, boy, you get talked about every day,
Yeah,
every
every day.
day.
Yeah.
They not letting up. They gonna tell you gonna hear about the Payless shoes that you wore to school. You gonna hear about it every day, the
Mm-hmm.
entire school year.
Yeah, you're gonna be the Payless
So
kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of, that not having a real father figure in my life. I mean, it was just a lot of randomness. I didn't have, that much structure in my life. And my grandmama and between my grandmother and my mother, I mean, they women trying to raise a man.
Mm-hmm.
It is never a good thing. So I was just into a lot of random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Never sports at this time.
Who was gonna put me in sports?
Mm.
You gotta pay to do that.
Facts.
So
There was no other male around. It was just.
my stepfather, my two little sisters, father, he passed when I was like 9. So that was the only real father I had from the ages of probably like 4 to about 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was gone. So, and my mama never really had, I think she got married one other time, but I don't think that marriage lasted a year.
Mm-hmm.
So it just was really pretty much the only male figure that I had, but we wasn't living together. But he my favorite uncle because I got a lot of uncles. But he taught me a lot, and he was the closest thing to a father figure that I had. Was
Okay.
my uncle. Yeah.
So, how old are you now?
I will be 50 next month.
Okay, so 17, you about 3 years older than me. Okay, so when you leave Louisiana and you come to Atlanta, what's going on in Atlanta?
At that time, what was going on at that time? I don't know. It was just, I guess, the South was just not taking over, the music industry and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and I don't know. Atlanta was just different. It was just different. It was, black people. Before I got here, I was watching the Falcons. It was Deion Sanders with the Jericho. Everything that Deion Sanders do today. Shout out to Deion. I'm gonna meet you again.
Yeah.
I had a chance to meet him one time. But everything he was doing, then it just was he doing it now. So
Yeah.
it was just flashy. It was the ATL. It was Dominique Wilkins back then.
Yep.
I just loved everything Atlanta. So when my mama told me that's where she was, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. You out of
You
there.
know, I got on a Greyhound and took that 12-hour ride. It was 12 hours at the time. And I don't think I went back to New Orleans for 3 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, it was, and then my first job was at the Atlanta Marriott Marquis. When I got here, somebody in my mama church had
You
got
didn't
me
go to
that
school?
job. At that time, no. I ended up getting my GED. I was 18.
Yeah.
I ended up getting my GED when I was 20.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was just random. I was just in the streets doing whatever. At first I wasn't doing whatever. I was just really on my good boy stuff and working my job. I worked at the Atlanta Marriott Marquis.
You still had that pistol play in you though.
I believe so, but I really wasn't carrying pistols right away.
Okay.
I wasn't carrying them right away. I was literally working 1, 2, and sometimes 3 jobs.
Yeah.
But for some reason, things fell off the rail. I still at this time didn't have no guidance, but at that time I'm like 18, 19 years
Yeah.
old. You can't really tell me nothing, you know.
Yeah. And you got a little size on you too.
Right. And so it was I don't know. After I stopped working, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, after I stopped working, I think I was just back into the streets selling weed. I tried selling crack, that wasn't my thing, but I was mostly moving a little bit of weight, pound, 2 pounds or whatever,
Yeah.
at 18 years old, and still trying to maintain my driving job, not driving, but just jobs in general,
Mm-hmm.
whatever I was doing at the time.
Okay. So when do things start to get heavy, or do you notice in the game where you was kind of like, um, you say you started off doing selling weed. Do we get up in the weight? Do it becomes a situation where you gotta start explaining where you getting money from, or what kind of?
Nah, it was always just in the middle of the road type thing. I was trying to get bigger, but I couldn't get there. I like to say I was like my friend say, an unsuccessful drug dealer.
Yeah.
It just didn't work. I was in the street doing a little miscellaneous stuff here and there with friends and stuff, but then and I got caught up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say you got caught up, what date did you get locked up on?
I got locked up on January the 16th,
Hold on.
1998.
Today is January the 15th, bro. So you telling me in 1998 tomorrow is the date I ain't even did the math.
27 years ago tomorrow.
Tomorrow
is when I got locked up.
Wow.
But the crime actually happened on January the 8th that year. So I was on the run for about a week at that time.
Can you go into the details of the crime?
I mean, it was basically a robbery of a business in Smyrna.
Mm-hmm.
Me and another guy. It just so happened the police was in the area at the time, so it was just we went up in there, hit the cash register, jumped in the car and left. We didn't want to hurt nobody, we didn't want to shoot nobody, none of that. The gun wasn't even loaded, truth be told, because I didn't trust the other guy, and I didn't want no accidental discharges, so the gun wasn't even loaded. That's not an excuse. We did what we did. So I jumped in the car, and the victim got on the phone immediately, and it just so happened to be a police in the area. So as soon as we hit a couple of lefts and rights, he already knowing it's a white Cadillac. So I see a motorcycle cop in my rear view, and I see him, but at this time he had not cut them disco lights on.
Mm-hmm.
So but I see him back there on the radio. So we get to a red light. Then after we went through the intersection, he cut the light. I see another police in the car spin off the side street.
Mm-hmm.
And so now the pursuit then started. So I'm riding down Windy Hill doing about 50 or 60. I get to the highway, it's over.
Yeah.
I was out of there. So however, they had my license plate number because my dumb ass then did it in my car.
So you was making no money to get your own car.
Yeah, I was riding. I had a Cadillac. I had a Chevy truck back then. Yeah, but I mean, I was hood rich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pocket chain. I wasn't struggling. I didn't not have, but I was hustling to maintain what I did have.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't really got out of working, because in the beginning I was hustling, but I still had a job. I still kept a job, and then I was hustling on the side.
Yeah.
But and then it just turned to hustling. So just doing something random. Just woke up that morning, called my partner, did some random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Took him on a high-speed chase. We got away. They caught me a week later.
Did they catch him?
No. He's never been caught. They don't know who he is. Rest in peace. He ended up losing his life running from the police
again.
Yeah, this was like nothing but like 6 or 7 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So at this time,
He
I
still
didn't
with the
went.
nonsense.
Yeah, I heard he had got on drugs really bad, like the hardcore stuff, and he just never got out the streets. So I think he was running from the police in College Park somewhere and tried to cross the highway on 285 and ended up getting hit. You remember that?
Yeah,
That
he
was
was
him.
on foot.
He was on foot, and he tried to run across the highway. He ended up getting hit. Yeah. So that was a terrible way. So at this time, I'm like, I was joking with another one of my, teenage friends. We all knew each other. I'm like, and my one of my older brothers, because he knew him too. I'm like, man, if I would have snitched on him, I would have saved his life. Cause he would have went to prison, he wouldn't be on the drugs, and he'll still be here. You know what I'm saying? So I took my fall by myself though. I took my fall because he was doing what I told him to do.
Yeah.
And I had him caught up in it. So once I had got away in the high speed chase, he was done. He was free and clear. And once I did get caught, I took my ride by myself.
Okay. So what county? Because you say
Cobb.
It happened on the 8th. They came and got you on the 16th.
16th.
And where are you at when they come and get you?
By my girlfriend's house. The car was in her name.
Now, did this girlfriend eventually turn into a baby mama, or is just a girlfriend?
Nah, she just a girlfriend.
Okay.
The car was in her name. When we got the car, we was living in Allen Temple. So the police went to every address, like they went to the actual address. They discovered we didn't live there. Then they went to the references on the car application. I was at one of those addresses, which was her parents' house. And when I woke up that morning, the house was surrounded because the car was in the driveway, so they knew I was in there. Yeah, and this was in city of Atlanta. So Cobb County and APD had the house surrounded. Yeah.
And you go to Cobb County. Can you describe your first day at Cobb County?
Oh man, intake. Sitting in a intake. That's it. Fingerprints, intake, sleeping on steel, concrete.
What's going through your mind at the time?
Oh man, I'm just like, at the time, because I told the police in interrogation when they was trying to interrogate me, I told them, I said, well, man, I hadn't got out of stuff. Before I get out of this too, take me on in. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to say.
Yeah.
So at that time, I'm still believing that they don't really have enough
to
convict me. I know I'm messed up right now, but man, it was a long time where I was just believing like I'm not gonna get, I'm gonna get out of it.
Yeah. Keep
in mind, I had already been found not guilty in Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? So I'm already feeling slick, invincible at that point anyway.
Yeah, I beat cases, nigga.
Yeah, I beat cases. At that time, I think I had 17 or 18 arrests, never been convicted. So either they dead docketed them, threw them out, or if I did get convicted, it was a misdemeanor. So when I got convicted of that armed robbery, 9 months later after the arrest, that was my first felony conviction.
So did they come to you with a plea?
They did.
How much?
I think something like a 10-5. If I told them where the guy was at, I'm like, I don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the final plea was 20-10 because they didn't want to go to trial.
You weren't trying to eat nothing.
Man, that was a lot of time. I can't 5 years. I can't do 5 years. At that time, it seemed like a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I'm trying to get on up out of here.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get found not guilty.
Yeah.
And I still believe that if a couple of things would have went left or right, I would have got found not guilty. Like I let the lawyer talk me out of getting on the stand. So in my first trial, I got on the stand.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Boom, not guilty. I walked out of there. But I lit the lawyer. I started off with a public defender, and he told me the best way for you to get out is to get on the stand. So I'm prepared to do that. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
I got a paid attorney. It was something that public defender did that I didn't like. And I ended up getting a paid attorney about a month before the trial.
Mm-hmm.
And he the one that talked me out of getting on the stand.
Mm.
Yep.
So when they hit the gavel and they tell you guilty, what's going through your mind?
Boy.
And then let me ask you this: during the trial, did you say to yourself, "Shit, I'm probably gonna go down," or you had in your mind that you was?
I still all the way to the end. I'm like, boy, they don't have enough, because I had a witness testify that I was somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, it was 2 more witnesses that could have testified, but they didn't show up for the trial.
Okay.
And when they came back, it was an all-white jury, no blacks on the jury, none, not one. It was only one in the pool of 36, and they struck him off. Yes, sir. And they said guilty. Boy, me and my girlfriend at the time was the only black people in that courtroom, and we was crying. Boy, I was sobbing like a baby. Listen, man, they went to talking about the sentence. The maximum was 20. But because I hadn't had any felony convictions, she didn't give me 20. If I'd have had one thing on my record, conviction,
20, yeah,
I'd have got the whole 20. But she ended up giving me 16 out of the possible 20.
Okay, so I am familiar with me and your son, like brothers, or I would say like nephew and uncle, because of the age difference. But if I needed somebody, if I trust your son with my wallet, because he operates off of integrity and he'll punch a nigga in the mouth
quick.
Yeah. So, but
he ain't gonna steal nothing from you. He'll beat you up though.
Yeah, he'll beat you up. You talking crazy. Yeah, he'll beat you up.
He'll take it from you though.
And he know how to fight. In real life, he know how to fight. That boy got hands.
I ain't teaching that, so.
Hey man, I said I was talking to him one day. We was in damn, where we was at? I think we might have been in Tennessee, and I went and talking, and I was like, man, you know what? I'm a chain gang vet. I said, I hope I don't have to cut Ed in this motherfucker, because I done seen Ed Slick get mad at somebody. I'm like, you know what? He turned into a totally different person. Okay, but my question is that you saying that you going to court with your girlfriend. Okay, so, but Ed's mother is a different person.
Yeah. She never was my girlfriend. We just had a child together. I had a child with her while I was with the girl that was at court. So, yeah.
Okay.
The girlfriend at the time, when I met her, her son, her youngest son, was 4 months old. She had just got the tubes tied. So that's why she didn't become a baby mama, because she couldn't have no more. So